Hey everyone, before this video gets started, if you're an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, really any major gig economy worker, and you want to get paid for benefits, sick time, and a whole bunch of other stuff, then click the link below to sign up for Cover. Cover is an incredible service that's basically being the missing link for Uber drivers and Lyft drivers that we've been looking for a super long time. If you get into an accident, or you get hospitalized, God forbid, or just you need a sick day, Cover will actually replace 80% of that income. So click the link down below and get 30 days free on us right now. Now let's get started on this video. What's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name is Greg Wave, and what I've got for you guys today is I'm gonna go over the top 10 best cars to be using for Uber and Lyft driving. If you're in the market for a car, you're definitely gonna wanna check this out. But it's also just good knowledge to have if you are a driver. One thing you've probably learned is if you do this long enough, you're gonna recycle through cars at a decently fast rate, especially if you're a full-time driver. So it's really important that, we're just aware of these things and we know what cars are good to be driving and which ones aren't. There are some pretty shocking ones on this list. I compiled it from a bunch of data I found on the web, a lot of different articles, and a lot of the reason too I wanted to make this is a lot of the things I saw online and YouTube videos and stuff. It would be like they would make this list and they would be like Toyota Camry Hybrid, Honda Accord Hybrid, and I was like, that is such BS. Like, I think we would all guess that if you can get the hybrid model, do it. For this, obviously, gas mileage is pretty much the number one thing. So, to start off, if you are completely new, no Uber and Lyft driving experience, keep in mind in your car shopping that it does need to be a 4-door vehicle. It does need to be, I think it depends on the state you live in, but generally a 10-year or newer car. I think some states it's 15. And I will say this, that generally you're going to want to look for three main things with your car shopping. Like I said, fuel efficiency is the number one thing. Having a good fuel efficient car is absolutely probably the most necessary thing. When you think about it, I mean, I usually spend anywhere from $100 to $200 a week on gas, depending on how much I drive. So if I, for instance, drove a less fuel efficient car, I might be more like $300 a month. So this could be the difference in $100 or $200 of savings. But speaking of gas, I wanted to tell you guys real quick about GetUpside. GetUpside is a really awesome app for saving money on your gas. You get 25 cents off per gallon the very first time you use it. That alone is worth using it. Like I was saying, I mean, you guys heard me say earlier about what I spend per week on gas. So using apps like this, especially if you're going to be doing this consistently and for some time, you just kind of need to do it. You might as well. But they also have a really great referral program where you get money off per gallon every time someone uses your referral code. So that's also a really cool feature. And ultimately, if we can keep saving money on our gas and saving more and more money on our gas, it's the way to go. But let's jump right into it. So like I said, the main things I'm going to be talking about, and really my criteria, was fuel efficiency, reliability. This is really important because, I mean, I've bought a lot of cars in the last 6 years, and the ones that I went through the fastest were always putting me in the toughest binds. So you want to get something really reliable, and having a spacious rear seat is another really important thing. Now, my car is not on the list because I was in a little bit of a pickle when I was buying new, and I was also young and dumb, and so I assumed if I bought from the same dealership, Nissan, that the deal would be a little bit better. Not the case at all, not true at all. Going back, I would have bought probably the first car that I'm going to talk about, because I think it's the best one on the list, but I can't personally say. But I have a Nissan Sentra, and I guess I'll just throw it on here for an honorable mention. It gets great gas mileage. It's a pretty spacious back seat. I haven't had anybody really that ever complains about not being comfy. Most people say they're really comfy, and I've even had guys that are upwards of 6'3" to 6'4" that say that too. So, and as a driver, I'm 6'2", and it's really not the most uncomfortable thing for me to drive. tiny little car, and it's kind of frustrating when like girls get in my car and they're like, oh, it's so cute, and I'm like, thanks, that's what I want to hear, is my cute little Sentra. So let's go ahead and get started. So number one is the Honda Accord. Honda Accord, this is the car I would personally get. So get 30 miles per gallon in the city and 38 miles per gallon on the highway. That's really good. There's not too many cars that are even going to be that much higher than that. There are going to be some cars on this list that do, but the reason why I like it, it's got a real spacious back seat area, and it's also a really sporty car. These newer Accords are sharp looking. They're really legitimate cars. So I think that having that kind of crisp, sharp look is really important too. I think that's something that goes into your ratings. I think, you know, you're taking it from the customer's point of view. They're walking up to your car. That's the first impression they're getting of you. And they go, wow, you know, that is a sharp looking car. And so they're already thinking that way getting in your car. You see what I'm saying? It starts getting people in the mindset of tipping. So then, you know, you do all the other things that I talk about in other videos for making good money on tips, and it's just a good way to start by having a really legit looking car. Tons of space in the back, like I said, and it's got really an above average trunk, which is another really important thing. A lot of these cars with really small trunks, I mean, you're gonna like literally decline rides. I know drivers that have to decline rides because they don't have enough trunk space. So it really is an important thing, especially if you're hustling a lot of airport rides like me. You really need that trunk space. So yeah, that's number one on the list, is the Honda Accord. Number two is the Toyota Camry. And one thing about the Accord, like I was saying about these lists, the Accord does have a hybrid version that does even better gas mileage. I'm just going to add that. Same with this Camry that I'm talking about right now. The Camry is also a great car, 29 miles per gallon in the city, 41 on the highway. Keep in mind, all this data for me, I'm just looking at the newer models, I think I was looking 2017 or newer. So 41 on the highway, really solid gas mileage. And again, really like very spacious. They have a really cool Wi-Fi hotspot on the newer ones. So that's another great feature to be offering to your passengers, is the Wi-Fi hotspot. And especially if you're picking up business guys from the airport and they're wanting to do some work on their laptop, that's going to go a long way with them. I mean, I would imagine most of them probably have unlimited data and they hotspot themselves anyways, but you never know. But the thing that also, I've driven a few Camrys, and it is just a nice ride. Like, it is a really nice, smooth ride. I really like the way it feels, and kind of the same with the Accord. These are the two main cars I would say to look into. The rest are all legit, but the Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry, like, these two are the way to go if you're car shopping. It's just the best bang for your buck. You kind of get everything, you know. Really a good direction to go. But number three, another really solid one, Honda Civic. And a lot of the reason why Hondas and Toyotas are good is because they are more reliable than any car, I feel like. I picked up a used car lot owner. Wow, I don't know why that was so hard for me to come up with. And I asked him advice about, you know, what cars to get, and he said always go Toyota. He said when he's selling cars to family members, he said he only sells Toyota to them, and he said he will not sell them a different car because he's like, I really don't trust anything else. He did say Honda is also good, but he said he still feels like Toyota is, you know, has a little bit of an edge. These cars last a really long time. I used to have a Toyota RAV4. I got it to like 315,000 miles. So I obviously really got as much life out of that as I can. A lot of cars are going to have a transmission or something go out before 300,000 miles. So really incredible that these ones last so long. I would really recommend, especially if you're going to be ride sharing, think Toyota and Honda. Everything else is a little shaky. Nissans, for instance, are really well known for transmission issues. My goal with this car is to really pay down my debt on it, and I want to trade it in for a Honda Accord in like a year or two. But yeah, so the Civic is also really good. You're looking at about 26 in the city, 36 on the highway. So not as good of gas mileage as the Accord, but still really good, and all around just a sharp car, a good car to drive. Next up is the Prius. I'm shaky on the Prius. It's not one I would personally ever do, but the gas mileage alone pretty much makes it worth it. Real tiny trunk, I think, and that's going to be one of the bigger issues you're going to have with it. And it's really compact too. So that one, I mean, that's up to you guys. It really depends on your preferences. If you don't take up a lot of space in your car, you might be really comfortable driving Priuses. I'm personally not. My knees feel like they're swelling up. I'm not a big fan of driving those, but for the right person, it could be a really, really solid option. So the next few, I'm kind of categorizing into one, but the Highlander, the GMC Terrain, and the Ford Explorer, these are all good SUVs to be looking at. I believe all of these have 7 seats, which is going to get you some Uber XL, which, you know, there's really good dollars in that. Something like that is, I mean, here's the thing. Don't drive an SUV unless it's a hybrid and you really like the gas mileage on it, or if you qualify for Uber XL, because otherwise, I mean, you're just wasting your gas, you know. But a few others that I wanted to add onto the list, the BMW 5 Series is a really good, if you get it in all black with the all black leather seats. That's a really affordable car you could use for Uber Black. And that's why I wanted to throw it on the list, because buying a used one isn't going to run you that much crazier than a lot of these cars. So doing that and getting to drive Uber Black is going to be a great way to make a lot of money, and you're going to want to look into that. And then last on the list, I did put any model of Tesla. I know a guy here in Phoenix who drives a Tesla for Uber and Lyft, and the way he does it, it works out perfectly, because he only does the amount of hours a day, so that he's really only recharging like every other day. A lot of those charging stations take 30 to 40 minutes, and I think that's the superchargers. The other ones can be a few hours. So obviously, if you're doing like excessive amounts of driving and you have to sit and charge for 3 hours, that's not going to make any sense at all. But if you're doing, I want to say he was doing 4 to 6 hours a day, like that's a really good margin you can be doing on a Tesla, to where you're not charging it constantly, and you know, you can make really good money on that, obviously, because you're never paying for gas. So using a Tesla the right way can be super beneficial. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Like I said, think Toyota and Honda. Like, you're really not going to go that wrong if you do. The Accord and the Camry, I think, are your best bets to always be looking at. Excuse me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Check out our merch too, the Rideshare Hub. I love these shirts. I wear them all the time. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you all soon.